Let's go back to June 17, 2000.
As the legend at ringside, Muhammad Ali, put it, who will dare to be great? Who will be bolder? And who will be tougher?
Both fighters have promised aggression. Mosley was quoted on the cover of a boxing magazine saying, "It'll be like the first round of Hagler-Hearns." And Mosley comes out pounding away with a straight right hand.
Good right hand by Mosley.
Slinging it over the top. De La Hoya trying to get the jab going.
Gets rocked by a jab.
He should wait a while and stand up straight and protect himself before he aims his punches down.
Mosley has a pretty good left hook to the body as well.
Oscar's going to have to take the spin off of the left jab and just sort of point it at Shane Mosley, because if you spin it, you're going to miss. Just point it at him with your palms aimed to the floor. You won't miss as much, but as he's spinning it, it's going to cause him to do a lot of missing with the left jab.
The thing that's happened here so far is that De La Hoya has been hit by some pretty sharp punches, but keeps coming forward.
And this is what Shane Mosley would like. You land the best punches, move away a little, set up, and do it again.
De La Hoya's left eye, which has swelled several times in fights, is pink already from the right hand blow. Now Mosley backs up and then comes straight forward again. Rips Oscar with the left hook.
With a fast opponent.
De La Hoya with a left hook to the body. First time he's landed to Mosley's ribcage.
Done one fight after another. Look at his body.
Look at the big shoulders.
He's paid the present shape. He can take what you got. He's going to be there for a while. You better pace yourself if you're Shane Mosley.
George De La Hoya looked drawn.
His right hand just a little bit.
And Oscar gets the left hook to the body in again and misses just short with the left hook up top.
Oscar's aiming that left hook to the body now. If he hits two hooks to the body, Shane is going to be a different fighter.
De La Hoya cautious, sets up a right and a left to the body. Much better second round for De La Hoya than the first. Gets the left hook into the pit of Mosley's stomach one more time. Oscar De La Hoya has landed that left hook to the body a half dozen times or more in this round.
And you can
Mosley has slowed down.
You can change Mosley right quickly.
No
but
question.
You got to watch this guy. He is seasoned, Shane Mosley. Anytime he can unlash a right hand that'll drop you.
Who doubled up Mosley, landing 22 punches to only 11 for Shane. De La Hoya 7 of 21 jabs in the second round. Much more effective.
Shane Mosley puts his right hand up for that left hook. It's right there. He's watching the...
And he knows De La Hoya is so conscious of wanting to be offensive with the left hook that he can land his right hand lead, which has been effective for him so far.
Momentarily buckled De La Hoya with the right hand, but
Oscar has his left hook hand cocked for the left hook. Now Shane is even getting closer, as his dad said, to smother the shots.
Oscar tripling up the left hook, trying to get to Mosley's body. Battle lines clearly drawn. Mosley's right hand lead and combination punching against De La Hoya's left hook.
And he has Oscar reaching out. Oscar's got to snap out. Don't reach out. You don't want him to miss.
De La Hoya with a quick little left inside. Mosley shuffling his feet. Sugar Shane throwing mostly one punch at a time. Hard right hand by Mosley. De La Hoya comes back with a left hook. Straight right hand. They start out boxing, but you can see that both guys are itching to fight. Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first three rounds?
Okay, Jim, I got a 2-1, 29-28, Oscar De La Hoya. Jim, in the first round, certainly Shane Mosley with that straight right hand, but since then, Oscar's walking him down, and somehow or another just appears to be the stronger guy. They those real hard left jabs, a tremendous left.
Yep.
Good left hook to the body by De La Hoya.
Right to the pit of the stomach.
Now he gets one back himself.
Mosley going in with the left hook to the body.
Mosley is known as the guy that if you hit me hard, I'm going to hit you hard.
Two big right hands from Mosley. De La Hoya holds the back of his head as if to say, he's hitting me behind the ear. I expected more hand speed and fluidity from Mosley. I expected more jabbing from De La Hoya. It's becoming more of a brawl than I think any.
About the fighter doing something to his hand, that means they're hurt.
They trade shots again at center ring. And now it's Mosley digging a left hook to the center of De La Hoya's body. And De La Hoya answering with a right across the top.
Hasn't been throwing his left quite so much because he's continually nailed by that right hand, George.
Well, for good reasons. You're not throwing it much. You keep throwing that left one. Stick the jab out there. Make this guy protect himself from it. Then he won't be so apt to throw over top.
2 rounds, De La Hoya has been throwing more punches than Mosley. And you heard Jack Mosley say to his son, you waited all your life for this. Don't slow down and keep punching.
Mosley's beating De La Hoya to the jab for the first time. And that's what De La Hoya does. Sometimes he'll jab out of there. Sometimes he'll punch out of there.
De La Hoya double left hook to the body, comes back with a third one to the pit of the stomach. Mosley fires the right hand lead again. Then remembers his own left hook to the body as his father asked him to do.
1, 2, 3, but make it the last punch be the right hand.
Hard right uppercut by Mosley, landed on the point of De La Hoya's chin. Oskar fires a right hand of his own.
But it's all in retaliation. It's Mosley who's initiating the contact.
Right hand to the body by Mosley. De La Hoya answers with his left. Shane Mozli.
De La Hoya got to start the jab. Start the jab.
Mosley landed the right. De La Hoya landed a bigger left. Mosley wobbled by the left hook from De La Hoya. And Shane steps in and you can almost see Oscar's confidence rising as the fight goes on. Even though Mosley's landing and landing a lot, Oskar seems to feel more and more secure about what he can do.
When he's using his left jab, he's in control.
In round 5, by CompuBox numbers, Shane Mozli landed 13 of 17 power shots. Very efficient, but Oscar De La Hoya threw 30 power shots and landed 12 of his. De La Hoya enjoying more and more freedom in the ring against Mozli, and as George Foreman points out, when Oscar jabs, he rules.
That can start hurting his back. You start hurting your back, you can't move too well. And that stiff jab of Oscar will break your back. Hooks, and for some reason he doesn't do it. Whenever he leaps one in, he catches it.
Would he be that worried about Oscar's right hands?
Oh, he just should. When you're doing something good, you might as well do it. If you haven't trained to do it, don't.
De La Hoya has continually applied the pressure in this fight.
Yes.
Very often in the past, he said one thing. He says he'll do one thing and not the other thing. He's been true to his word so far in this fight.
Absolutely. And you can see that Mosley, with his speed and fluidity, can succeed some when he gets inside. But he has to go into the jaws of the lion to do it. He has to accept the jab.
If you think you're going to outbox well-proven fighter like De La Hoya, you're wrong. You're going to have to fight.
Mosley more and more measured. De La Hoya with more and more freedom as time goes by. De La Hoya's range in the ring and apparently superior punching power. More and
from Oscar are like heavyweight, light heavyweight.
Well, that's exactly what one of their common opponents said. Jesse James Layhouse. Round 6 was a big one for Oscar.
This is as good as we've seen Oscar in a very long time. He's obviously very, very keyed and ready for this kind of fight.
Rising to the occasion, Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 6?
Okay, it's your fight. When Oscar De La Hoya would throw a left jab, Shane Mozli would hit him with right hand over the left jab. In the last couple of rounds, Shane hasn't done it at all. Oscar keeps shuffling forward, flat-footed, landing the power shots. De La Hoya.
Tide is going toward De La Hoya.
No question.
Now, De La Hoya can't be still. You got to do something.
And Mosley with the beginnings of a comeback here as he starts to release his hands again.
Mosley's looking for something to take confidence in. Oscar give him one little thing, he's going to exploit it.
Left hook lands for Mosley on the point of De La Hoya's chin. Oscar taking
Have power as the fight go on, being hit like this constantly.
body, and then the left jab right in the face. Mosley comes back. Right hand by Mosley after a De La Hoya left to the pit of the stomach.
You see when
It's a real fight, ladies and gentlemen, a sizzling fight. It makes De La Hoya Trinidad look like a slow walk in the...
I think these fighters are bringing out the best in each other.
Good big left hook by De La Hoya. Mosley comes through it and keeps going. As he comes out of his corner, George Foreman pointing out, you tighten a man's back when you keep pounding his chin with your jab.
that stiff left jab, that's what it does.
That's what Muhammad Ali did to torture Floyd Patterson one night back in the 60s.
Your back will just give out. It's that stiff jab, on and on and on. And Shane was not aware of that kind of effect on him because he's never been...
Fights. Never knocked down, pro or amateur. So already Mosley has faced more pressure and more danger in this fight than at any other time in his boxing career.
If he's going to circle you, make his back touch the rope.
And the pattern which continued in round 7, Mosley throwing 45 punches, De La Hoya throwing 67. Another Floyd Patterson reference. Big left hook, De La Hoya. Mosley tries to retaliate to the body. Oscar pulling it. Mosley trying to energize himself while De La Hoya rips him with a right and a left.
That's that stiff jab. Oh, but a right hand by Mosley.
But just as he has all fight long, so far he's walked right through Mosley's best punches.
And Mosley stays in a southpaw stance and peppers De La Hoya with the right hand.
But I think sometimes it indicates a certain confusion and weakness, and you're looking for something that you can't find in what you do best.
Could he be trying to take away Oscar's left hook with this stance?
I just think that's what he does. He switches. He's a switch hitter. He does it out. He does it in the ring and practice. That's what he does.
Here comes the 9th round. He's got 4 rounds to go.
Well, he's trying to step up the urgency of Mosley because he's trying to take Oscar De La Hoya's title. And
Harold Letterman's card is even through 8. Mosley did throw more punches than De La Hoya for the
trickle of blood from De La Hoya's nose.
right hand by Mosley. Mosley freeing himself up a little bit more now, perhaps sensing that he might be behind in the fight, taking a couple more chances.
His dad told him to move around, box, every now and then jump in a hard shot. But to win these things on point. Get a little closer and a little closer. Every time he does, De La Hoya goes in and dig a body shot. You got to get close to do what Shane Mozli has in mind.
They trade again. Mosley lands a right hand. De La Hoya walks right through it. Comes back with a 3-punch combination. Right hand lands for Mosley.
And he gets out of the way, which is very important. You hit him, you got to move out of the way because he's going to hit you back.
This time he took the left hook in return for the right. Another left hook for De La Hoya. Mosley steps in with his own left. Brilliant toe-to-toe action in the middle of the ring.
Who's going to dare to be great? Who's going to be bolder?
Whenever he jumps in, he does well.
I think they both dared to be great. Big left hand by Mosley. Oscar De La Hoya unfazed. Mosley landing again. Mosley's fluidity and combination punching carrying the lead on Harold Letterman's scorecard. 2 power shots in his biggest round of the fight. Harold Letterman, how do you have it 3/4 of the way through?
Look at Jim, 86, 85, 5 rounds to 4. Sugar Shane Mosley. Jim, I think that hand speed is bothering Oscar De La Hoya. I think Shane Mosley certainly went around 7, 8, 9 to pull ahead in this fight.
Could go to him.
And remember that in apparently very close fights against Pernell Whitaker and Ike Quartey, Oscar got shockingly swayed by star power. No boxer has more star power on the current scene than Oscar De La Hoya.
But also by the...
Hoya should be jabbing, and when he's not jabbing, throwing combination or staying out of harm's way.
Big right hand by De La Hoya.
Close.
Been a big puncher in the welterweight division, a good puncher. What I call a triples hitter, not a home run hitter.
Oscar's getting the right hand in. Oh, he has confidence in his right hand. It's his left hook that he wants to get in there.
Last 3 rounds. Standing at center ring and taking De La Hoya's right hand shot.
Pivot.
Well, I think it took him a while to gather the
I don't believe Jim and George that he felt that De La Hoya would slow down in the last third of the fight.
as he did against Trinidad. De La Hoya acknowledging to us yesterday that he was fatigued against Trinidad and it affected his thought process in the last 3 rounds. Mosley lands that looping right hand again. De La Hoya just not close to what Mosley was able to do in the eyes of CompuBox. A statistical profile, not the be-all and end-all.
Well, remember, De La Hoya, at his best, steps it up at the end of the fight.
Down the stretch they come. Championship rounds.
Closer. Oscar never should have allowed him to get that close. If he's that close, hit him. You can't just wait.
Oscar does not look as quick as he did early in the fight.
Oh. And he's reaching. That's what happens when you go into training camp with fast fighters, but the fighter you're fighting is even quicker.
Well, there's nobody at 100.
Unattended to. Do something.
Mosley stepping into the left hook of the body and then grabbing De La Hoya and wrapping him up. Oscar looking for range to try to go back to dominating with the jab. Oscar's left hook less and less of a factor in recent rounds.
Would you step into my parlor? That's the kind of fight Mosley is doing.
Slow at this moment. Mosley getting a little breather. De La Hoya rips him with a combination. They both acknowledged before the fight this is friend against friend. They both said it didn't mean it wouldn't be a great fight. Really sure what Alcazar meant to communicate.
Well, but I think at the end he was right. You need this round. Nothing to save it.
Minutes to go. Brilliant action in LA's biggest fight ever. Big right hand by Mosley. Another big right hand by Shane. De La Hoya trying to make his left hook count. Mosley bombing away with the right.
Both of them daring to be great.
Both going for the knockout in a classic pitch battle.
Oscar's hurt in the body. Now to the head he's hurt.
Mosley is out hustling Oscar De La Hoya. Out working him, out fighting him when it matters most.
You know, the word in the gyms is that Oscar doesn't like to get hit, but he has stuck his...
The bad memory of the Trinidad fight is totally erased. This has been a war.
Both of these fighters will come out of this fight elevated.
No question. Big right hand by Mosley. Final postscript on what looks like it might be. What a fight.
Pat Russell scores it 115 to 113 for the winner by split decision. And new welterweight champion of the world, Sugar Shane Mozley.